Good afternoon. It's Claudio, Matt LaHood, and Clinton from The Mentors. We'd like to welcome you to our show. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Matt.
How are you?
Hello.
Hey, thanks for joining us on our show today. And
My pleasure.
we're super excited for you to be on the show. Before we get started and you ask us the pressing question, because that's what The Mentors is all about. Firstly,
Sure.
tell us about how long you've been in real estate. What area do you... Yeah, go on.
Sure. Yeah, I've been in real estate since 2013, so 5.5 years now.
Yeah, perfect.
And I've been into Ryde area so far till July with a boutique agency there.
So you're working in the Ryde area, right? Cool.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
And just for our listeners, that's in Northwest Sydney. Perfect.
Correct.
Yep.
Northwest Sydney. And the question I got for you is I have just left my job in June, where I've been working for the last 5 years.
Right.
And I have started on my own. I had a great opportunity where I can be a business owner without worrying too much about the admin staff and looking after the office management staff, because head of office looks after all the admin staff, and I can focus on just listing, selling, and negotiating, and pretty much it. And the question I have for you is, I got a very good friend of mine who also used to work with me in the same company 5 years ago, and we have an opportunity where she has also started on her own with the same franchisee where I have bought. And the question I got is in this market where the market is changing, so far things has been absolutely beautiful, no problems. I sold 68 homes in last 12 months.
Wow.
And it worked out well in terms of GCI and transaction wise, the commission was good. Now starting on my own as fresh, now I'm starting from pretty much zero because the database I had belonged to the company. So I got pretty much no database on me. I'm starting from scratch. So the question I have is, should I start on my own or I go with the partnership from a very good friend, I have known for a while, and we start together and build a business together and grow a team, or I start on my own and grow my team and prepare we call it SEAL team to do really, really good and achieve really high numbers?
Okay, great question. Well, Matt, I suppose this is a common topic right now, especially as the market's changing. Agents are thinking, do I join up with someone and become a force, the two of us, or do I just continue to go on my own? So, Matt, some advice for our friend Amit.
Look, Amit, I would say currently in the marketplace we're in, now's the best time to grow, in my personal opinion. So I would go for it with a team up. I think it's a good thing because 1 + 1 = 11 rather than 2.
Sure.
It's very hard to scale up when you're on your own. And the way the market perceives people today is if you need to have leverage, you need to have scale. And I think I'm not sure of the other person what sort of business they do. Are they doing similar business to you?
Yes, I would say similar business, definitely.
Well, if you did 68 deals last year and they did 68, there's 100 and what's that, 76 or something? 130,
140.
140 deals between you, which could end up being 200 deals between you.
Yeah.
Sure. And how does the business model will work, Matt? Would it be, when I'm looking at next 5 years, when we're growing our team, so how does it work? Are we going to initially start together and continue together, or then split it in sort of a way where we have our own team in next 3 months, 6 months, year, 2 years period? What do you think?
I would pool if you're doing similar business, I would pool all the resources down the middle, and because you don't want to be penny picking around, this is yours, that's mine, because there will be crossover with buyers and sellers. So to me personally, my personal opinion, I don't know the other person at all, or yourself, but I would say if you're going to go into business, 50-50, straight down the middle and just share everything. You'll go faster.
Okay.
Matt, question for you. Have you ever been in a scenario, I know I have, where I actually joined with someone, this is going back many, many years ago. Have you ever, because if I remember, I always remember Matt LaHood, right, as an agent, but did you ever in your career as an agent team up with someone?
I always had like co-agents working with me on everything, even from the beginning. So what I used to do, Clouds, is I'd kept my own identity, but I then conjuncted with other agents where I thought was the best interest of the vendor.
Okay.
It was never in the best interest of Matt LaHood, but it was always, if I moved into a suburb where I didn't have much punch, but I had the vendor, I'd bring in the best agent so I could get leverage for that vendor.
Right. Okay.
But you then share the image, the profile of yourself and whoever it was.
Yeah.
But that was just the way I sort of ran myself.
Here's the question, right, which can help Ahmed as well. The person you want to choose and work with, right? Because to me, it's all about having the same sort of similar values, mindset, etc. Okay. How could someone like Ahmed make sure that he feels like he's choosing the right person or aligning himself with the right person? Because sometimes I've seen these partnerships happen, and after 6 months, they're like killing each other.
Here's what I would do. I would get a third party.
And normally it comes down to money.
Yeah,
like
totally. It's usually the
the dollars.
The problem. I would get a third party independent to build a plan for you two. That could be somebody like Claudio. It could be somebody like a business coach. It could be a financial person. I think it's got to be a balance. You could have a financial, like a business planner and someone like Claudio that both one understands the industry, another one then understands the financial side of the business and put something in place that's rigid and agreed upon from the beginning. Because the last thing you want to do is go down this path and 9 months later you find it's no good and you jump out of it. And then you just sort of go back. It's like snakes and ladders, right? You're going to go slide right back down after you go up the top. So you want to just keep building it where you set and put a plan in place, put an agreement in the third drawer of the safe, throw it in there and let it go and don't look at it again ever.
I think that's a clear point there for you, Ahmed, is what Matt, from what I hear from Matt, is like have clear rules of engagement from the beginning.
Sure.
I remember for me when I teamed up with someone many, many years ago, Ahmed, after about 12 months, it became very much a financial thing where this person thought they brought more listings and sales than I did, and then I thought that I was bringing more value to the business than they were. And, the reality came down, it was a financial thing. It was more like they thought they were bringing more money. I thought I brought that client in. And eventually our little partnership broke away. What would be the reason for you to join up? Because obviously you've left an office. You said you're moving into a new area. This is going to be June.
Correct.
Like what are the reasons for you to understand why would you want to join up with somebody? What's the reason? Because to do 70 deals a year on your own, you're running a pretty good business. And
it's pretty good.
It's I'm just trying to think out loud. What's the benefit of you joining up with someone? Is it to dominate an area more? Is it to
exactly right
have more freedom so you can have more time off? Like what is it?
I will say it's not about the freedom on more time. Not worried about time off and things like that. Like I always work like 6 to 7 days, like no problems about the work. So it's all about being the specialist in the area and being number one and being the dominant agent and basically providing clients everything what they need. The reason is there are two ways to do it. If I team up and join, like obviously it's a girl then I'm teaming up, so it's a good balance.
Yes.
Of both. And having the same agent with the equal level, we can grow together. Just the challenges what we got is how we're going to go on a long term. Where we're growing our team and we're growing our business. As Matt said, like you need a third party to look into it in financial point of view. Plus, I believe we also need to form a company in this instance where we both own the company and we have equal share and we're both basically working hard for the company to grow rather than just two individual agents, because some misunderstanding happens. Correct. And we can actually fall apart like what you mentioned, Claudio. The other option.
It doesn't sound like to me that you guys have actually thought about it enough. Is that right?
Correct. That's exactly right.
So
because it just happened all of the sudden. Matt, I did not expect to leave the company where I was working for the last 5 years. It just happened. So I thought it's a good point. It's a good time to you guys, like having all that experience. And I've been listening to you guys lately. Yeah.
There's a good saying around, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right?
Correct.
So I think what you need to do is seriously get in a room like for 4 to 5 hours with some third-party people, throw the ideas around, worst case scenario. The only other thing I would leave you with is make sure you've got an exit strategy.
Okay.
If something goes pear-shaped, you've got a very clear exit strategy to get out.
Sure, to make sure like we both are safe, obviously. Like we both are obviously safe. And the second thing, if I'm going on my own, Matt, just a quick question. How do I go about growing my team? Do I have a goal for 3 months or 6 months? Because it's hard to be just on my own. But initially, from a financial point of view, I need to be on my own.
I think you need a 1 year plan, a 2 year plan, a 3 year plan. 3 months is not enough.
In this market?
Yeah, correct.
You reckon 1 year?
I reckon you need a 3 year plan.
3 to 6 months. Okay.
No, a 3 year plan is what you need. You don't put on someone for a short period.
Sure.
I think you need to look at it holistically. What will happen the first year? What will happen the second year? What will happen the third year? 3 months is not enough, Clouds. You agree to get traction?
Yeah.
Okay.
12 months to... By the time you implement all the things that you're wanting to do and get your business going, building momentum and then getting some traction.
Sure.
Like what Matt said, it's 12 months before you sort of say, okay, who's the next person I'm going to bring on board in my team?
Sure.
Because I think the first thing is you want to find a level of consistency. You're going into a whole new marketplace.
Sure.
And as you go to a new marketplace, you're building a brand, you're building a profile, etc. So my suggestion to you would actually be really about thinking what Matt's saying is to have that 1 year, 2 year, 3 year plan laid out. And then you've got clarity. Once you've got clarity, it's easy to sort of go out away and then start executing some of this stuff.
So true.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
So just something for Clinton, to join in this question. Clinton, what would you say to Amit? Something like if he was to, join up with somebody, what are some of the ways to promote themselves, like joint agents? Do they do it individually or they do it together? How do you position yourself in a marketplace with like two agents, like a partnership, so to speak?
I think there's always a place for your personal branding.
Yep, your own personal,
as well as the joint venture or the partnership you guys would go into. So part of it's going to depend on what you label the brand. So if that's, for example, I don't know, the two names combined, then you've got that branding element, but then you've also got the individual element that you need to look at. So any business that has that sort of situation or that setup should consider doing their own personal branding, like have their own account, and then also have the business account.
Okay. And could I just ask you, Amit, this is you're going into a whole new area, is that correct?
Correct. Like I'm also tossing is the other question I have is like I wasn't right. The other option I have is I currently live here in the Hills District out at the west.
Yep.
And the other option is either if I'm starting from the scratch, I may even start with my area based on the experience what I got from Northwest, bringing here and being closer to home and pretty much working closer to home, which means the extra hours I can do without thinking, which I've been doing. But again, it's just I like to make sure like it's the right move for me because I don't want to destroy my whole career after doing what I have done. I like to actually continue growing ×2. And that's the reason I needed the clarity. So if I'm going in a whole new area, what are your thoughts into it?
Matt, what are your thoughts into
I would stick to where you are. I don't think restarting is a great thing. You've already got people that know, like, and trust you in your current market.
And you've probably got a database there already. Is that right? I mean,
yep.
Correct. I got the clients, Matt and Claudia. I got my clients who bought through me, sold through me, and they're my loyal clients, and they won't go anywhere. And they're established client. In fact, I left. They've been basically looking for me. They're finding me. So obviously,
I don't think if you start, you're going to go back down the ladder again. I reckon I reckon just dominate the market you're in and do with it.
You've already got a name. And you're doing 68 to 70. Okay, right. So we're just going to wrap this call up. Just one final thing from Clinton, because this could be quite relevant to other people in the marketplace. So Clinton, just 3 quick things in terms of advice. If he does start a new area, he's starting on his own, how could he build his brand and profile quickly into an area to penetrate and hit that marketplace so people can start to know who he is, what he does, and what's his offer? What would be 3 things? I'm putting him on the spot here. I love putting Clinton on the spot.
The latest thing.
Put the fire on him.
No. Bring us on. Okay, here we go. So the latest thing I'm obsessed with is the idea of having a pillar piece of content. So you want to document everything that you do from a business perspective in your area.
Sure.
But what you're looking to do from that is not actually produce necessarily now a vlog or a podcast or a profile video.
Yep.
What you're looking for is the little pieces of gold with the interactions or the funny things or the things that will get you attention that you can then distribute onto Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook.
Yep.
Right.
Sure.
And so a good example of this is when you look at our podcast for the mentors, right?
Yep.
We've got a long form show that goes for 20 to 30 minutes. A lot of people digest the full amount, but the thing that got us attention in the first place is those little 60-second snippets that go out onto Instagram.
That's the thing.
Or
it whets people's appetite, and then they want more.
Exactly. And that's the point. So that's one of the things that you need to do. The other thing you need to be doing is leveraging the relationships you've got and collaborating with people more. So if you are going to build more content, which I think most businesses should be doing now moving forward, is that you're doing that with other people. You're not just doing it on your own.
Love it. Amit, have we answered your question today on the mentors?
You did very well. Thank you so much, Claudia. Thank you so much, Matt. And thank you so much, Clinton. You guys were really helpful. And yes, it does bring a lot of clarity. And for me to plan properly to make sure it's the right move, it definitely helps. And
awesome.
Like I highly recommend anyone, like I'm already telling people to start listening to you. Because I find a lot of good value there.
That is awesome. And we love you, Amit. Thank you for spreading the message and the love.
Got something great from this episode? It would mean the world to us if you passed it on. Tune in each week as we mentor a new agent. Have a question? Want to be on the show? Get in touch with Claudio Encina, Matt LaHood, or visit our Facebook page. The Mentors is brought to you by Sprinkler.media.